Raise your hand if you are someone who works out 2, 3, maybe even 4 hours a day. Yeah, I know some of you are out there doing that. You train 5, 6, 7 days a week. Maybe you're even going to the gym twice a day, splitting up your workouts. And by this time, to your understanding to how all this stuff works, you should have the body of your dreams. You should look like a golden Adonis. You should look like an alabaster statue of marble of the perfect human anatomy. But for some reason, the universe has conspired against you. Your body doesn't look any different than it did a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe even a year ago. You're stuck on a plateau and you are frustrated. Well, let me tell you something. You know, there is a such thing as doing too much of a good thing, right? And there is indeed a such thing as overtraining and working out too much, honey. So many of you are going through this right now, and we have got to talk about that on this episode of Redefining Bodybuilding. So let's be honest for a moment. If you answered yes to any of the things that I just pointed out, any of the overtraining red flags that I pointed out to you, go down to the comments right now and tell me what you're guilty of. And if you are someone who has done that, if you've been guilty of that in the past, but you've gotten over it, our community is all about helping folks and really spreading information and helping each other, inspiring each other. So post down below what you've been able to do to get out of this overtraining funk and to get yourself back onto the road of success. But let's go ahead and get into the conversation. Now, I got to say one thing that came out of the pandemic that was good. You see, I've been doing this online fitness thing for a number of years. I started my company, Rockstar Fitness, back in about 2009, 2010, after I decided that, look, I don't want to work in the gyms anymore. I don't want to do the personal training thing anymore. I want to reach the world with my message, right? So I went into the online fitness realm way back then. And I remember telling everyone I know, listen, you guys got to get online. This is the wave of the future when it comes to fitness. Everything is going to be about online training. And bam, what happened? Global pandemic happened. Everybody had to work out at home. You had to become smarter and savvier about how you train because you didn't have the crutch of the gym and a trainer just sitting there counting your reps, right? So one of the things I love that happened, the fruits of that, is that so many of you went deeper to learn about how to truly train your body, how to do things in an effective way. But today's society is really an information overload for so many of you. You've got so much information in your head that you don't know what left or right is. And for somebody like myself, who's actually been in this industry since 1997, okay, almost 25, 26 years and counting, the stuff that you're just learning, honey, I already figured that out decades ago. And I've had the opportunity to put it on thousands of clients. Now, why do I say this? I say this because I've been getting a lot of folks reaching out to me for coaching. And when we get down to the bottom of why their bodies are not responding to their training, a lot of it has to do with the fact that they are continuously overtraining. I am seeing this time and again across the board for men and women. And it's really at the crux as to what's causing plateaus, what's making folks frustrated, and how they are doing just too much, again, of a good thing. So let's talk about what overtraining looks like and how that's impacting your body. And then later on in the conversation, I'm going to give you a couple of solutions that you need to take to get past this hurdle and see the results that you want to see. So what does overtraining look like exactly? Okay, let me tell you, I opened up with it, okay? Raise your hand right now or touch your heart, whatever you want to do right now. I want you to really listen and identify yourself honestly. Raise your hand or touch your heart if you're someone who is working out 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, and yes, even 4 hours a day. I've heard this happening. Be honest. Do you fall in that category? Now, are you someone who's training 6 to 7 days a week? You don't believe in off days. You believe in going out there, training, doing something every single day that's going to help your body to change. Be honest. Again, touch your heart, raise your hand. If you are someone who works out twice a day, all right? And I'm not just talking about those of you who split your cardio in one session and your weight training later. That's actually not too bad. And some of my clients actually do that as well. But I'm talking about those of you who are doing 2 full-on full out workouts. Maybe one day you'll go ahead and train your upper body in the morning, then lower body in the afternoon, later on in the day. 2 really, really intense workouts. And you're going off and you're doing this several days a week. Raise your hand, touch your heart. Be honest. I'm going to tell you right now that if you touch your heart for any one of those, that you are overtraining. There's no way to slice it than that. Here's why. You are not building anything in the gym. Let me say that again, because some of you don't understand this. You are not building anything in the gym. You know what you're doing? You are tearing muscle tissue down. You are breaking down the body. You are depleting your body of its energy stores. You are forcing your body to raise metabolism. You're doing all these things to put you in a very catabolic state. And it's not until you step outside of the gym, it's not until you step outside of the workouts, give yourself entire rest days, feed yourself, and really eat in a way that's going to help you to grow and change. That is when your body is anabolic and putting on muscle. So for those of you who think that you can do this diminishing returns type of situation where you're going out and doing more, not realizing that more is just more, that it isn't better, these are the reasons why you are stuck time and again. And you know what the interesting thing for me is when I talk to people who call me on the phone, get on to a consultation with me, and they refuse to believe it. That they want me as a coach to tell them what they want to hear. That, oh, we can fix this. We just need to tweak this a little bit. We need to do this. We need to do that, right? Or they want me to continue them on the insanity wheel that they're on instead of telling them the truth and ripping off the Band-Aid and saying, you are doing too damn much. You need to step outside the gym. You need to take some time off. You need to eat more in order to get your body going again. You know what else happens when you're overtraining like this? You are really doing a number on your body's hormonal system. Thyroid output goes way down. And when that thyroid drops, guess what? Metabolism is out the door, honey. Stress hormones go way up. You start to put yourself into this cycle of adrenal insufficiency. And that is a dangerous place to be. For women and men as well, your sex hormones get out of whack. And once those are out of whack, honey, listen, any gains that you have, energy, all that stuff, out the door. Because your body works as a cascading system that has to work in sync with each other. And the only way that these systems can replenish themselves is through rest and recovery, and also proper diet and supplementation as well. Now that I pointed that out to you, though, how do you fix this, right? How do you get to a point where you're seeing your body just blossom? How do you get yourself off of this plateau? How do you get yourself off of this funk? So many of you are probably demotivated right now because you've been working your butt off and it's not working. And guess what, honey? That's what we're going to solve right now. Like what you're seeing here on my channel? Well, this is just a taste. I want to invite you to come join my exclusive email list. Get even more tips and advice on training, nutrition, mindset, motivation, and empowering your femininity, all sent directly to your inbox. Stay inspired and be the first to access my newest articles, personal blog posts, podcasts, and videos. Don't let social media dictate when or if you get my stuff. Let's get directly connected and walk side by side on your journey to your best body and best life yet. Best of all, it's totally free. Head to rockstarfitness.com/email list. See you soon. So I've got 4 tips that we're going to get into that's going to help you to change your body, that's going to help you to get back on track, it's going to get you out of this overtraining. And the first tip is something I already alluded to. You need to take a break. You need to step it on back. Now, this is going to be one of the hardest tips for you to do for so many of you, because once you're in that more is more mindset, once you're in that diminishing return cycle, it's hard to mentally break because you've gotten so used to stepping into the gym every day, working out, lifting, going balls to the wall. You're so used to this intensity that you begin to feel insecure when you're presented with the idea and the requirement to slow yourself down and to just step it back. But I'm telling you, this is one of the most important first steps that you must take. So what exactly does this look like? Well, if you're doing those 2, 3, 4 hour a day workouts, twice a day workouts, working out 6 or 7 days a week, you're going to have to take down that volume and that frequency. So as far as frequency, I would say to do about 3 to 4 days in the gym and then taking those other days as complete rest. And I want you to do that for about 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how fatigued your body is. And really, to know how long you need to stay on this, you should just listen to your body. You got to just see what biofeedback you're getting. Are your energy levels starting to go up? Are you able to rest better? Are you feeling less on edge? Are you feeling stronger in your workouts? Now, a lot of times when you start feeling good, a lot of these start to creep back into those old habits. But if you've been doing this overtraining cycle for months, for years, for some of you, you've got to actually take the time to step outside. 1 week, 2 weeks sometimes is not enough. Sometimes doing 4 weeks. And I have had clients where I've had to do this for about 3 full months of just taking down the volume to get their hormonal levels back up to where they need to and really give them a base in which we can establish a new foundation. Now, as far as exercise duration is concerned, I would really rather you stay in the gym for a less amount of time, but in that time that you're in the gym, that you get the best bang for your buck. So for this kind of phase where you are deloading, I would say to spend no more than about an hour in the gym. And that's between your cardio and your weight training. So you're really doing a number on taking down that volume while you listen to your body and get yourself back on track. Now, the next thing that you need to do is something I just mentioned, which is pay attention to your diet. The number one thing that we're trying to do is to regulate your hormones again and to get your body to work more efficiently. What usually goes hand in hand with this overtraining are those who are not eating enough, particularly for my women. Ladies, y'all don't like to eat. You like to starve yourself. You like to go on weird kind of diets. You like to eliminate full food groups. And you know what? Guess what? For the guys that are watching, you do the same thing. Again, there's too much information out there. You got this diet, this plan, this diet, this all this stuff out there that you're experimenting with that's not getting you the results that you want to see. You know what works? Simplicity and science. That's it. Simplicity and science. And I know it's boring, but guess what? It gets results. And not only that, it teaches you the habits that you need to have in order to not only get the results that you want, but to keep them for a lifetime. And that's what this is all about at the end of the day, right? Exactly. So it's within this phase that I'm going to advise that you go ahead and you raise your calories to maintenance. Now, we have videos here where I talked about how to do that. Some of you get freaked out, but I'm telling you, do not be afraid of that number. Now, if you're eating a super low amount of calories, you might want to just gradually increase your calories by about 100 to 250 to 500 calories for some of you every single week. Just do it slowly so you can get to your maintenance number. And then during that deload time, whether it's a 2-week, 3, 4-week period, a 12-week period, you're going to eat at maintenance. And how you know that you're at a good amount when it comes to your calories is that you are able to maintain your body weight within plus or minus 5 pounds of where you currently are. So if you're, let's say, 145 pounds and you're on a maintenance diet, your body should remain at 145, but never 5 pounds, more than 5 pounds below or above that at any given time. And if you are getting above that, then you want to scale your food the way that you need to, whether it's eating a little bit more or eating a little bit less. But maintenance means to maintain. Now, this is important because this is going to help you to get your hormones in check. And for the next tip, let's go ahead and talk about exactly what that looks like. Are you looking to get into the best shape of your life? You want to change your body. You want to take control of your eating. You want to look and feel your best. And you know right now there's something that's missing in your approach that's just getting you frustrated and getting you stuck. And you're ready to do something about it? Well, honey, listen, I am taking on new clients right now and I want to talk to you. Come on over and set up a complimentary 20-minute call so we can discuss exactly what's getting you stuck, get you out of your own way, and get you on a program that's going to change your life and change your body for good. This fitness stuff isn't just about diet and training. Oh no, honey, it's about mindset. And you know me, we talk about spiritual fitness as well. But what does that mean and how do you apply it to what you've got going on? The only way we're going to find out is we talk about it, honey. So make sure that you go ahead down below, click the link or scan the QR code that you see on your screen right now to set up your complimentary appointment and discuss how you and I can team up to get you to your goal. Hormones are the gasoline in your tank, okay? Or maybe it's even, we can equate it to, it's like the oil that keeps the engine running. So when there's no oil in that engine, what happens? It slows down, it cranks up, and it breaks, right? And that's exactly what your body is like. You got to make sure that your hormone levels are exactly where they need to be within optimal levels. We talked about hormones ad nauseum on this channel. So if you want to go ahead and see the videos and the conversations that I have around that, make sure that you go ahead and look at the link that's down below. But for the most part, what you really want to pay attention to are your thyroid levels. You want to pay attention to your adrenals, and you want to check out your sex hormones. Now, for your thyroid, there's a whole panel that you need to ask for, and it's not just the test that your doctor typically gives. When you go to the doctor, you ask for a thyroid test. They're going to actually only give you two numbers, the TSH, the thyroid stimulating hormone, and usually T4, which tells you exactly how well the pituitary gland is working, but not really how the thyroid is converting all of these hormones and actually using them. When you are going to the doctor and you're asking for your hormonal levels when it comes to your thyroid, you want the TSH, you want the free T3, the free T4, and you want your RT3 as well. Knowing those numbers is going to tell you exactly how well your thyroid is converting the hormones into what's usable for the body and when it's not. And the reason why that's so important is because looking at only two of those numbers only gives you a like halfway picture. So many of you are borderline hypothyroid and you're on the suboptimal level, which means that you are on the low end of normal and your doctor's telling you there's nothing wrong with you, yet you are seeing symptoms, not being able to lose weight, hair is brittle, skin is dry, and all other things that come with being on the low end of thyroid output. And that's for both men and women. But keep in mind that women, we tend to be hypothyroid more than men do. So it's important for you to take a look at that. The next thing that you're going to want to look at are your adrenals, and more specifically, exactly where your cortisol levels are in the body alongside DHEA. If you're feeling fatigued, or you're feeling like you could never just catch your rest, you're feeling like your body is really run down, if you're in a lot of stress or you have a high stress life or job, I'm telling you right now, your cortisol is through the roof and you're going to really have a hard time losing weight. When you get your cortisol checked, you want to do a saliva test, which is usually taken about 4 times a day versus a blood test. Some of you may have to go to an independent lab for that. Some of you can ask your doctors for this. Advocate for yourself to get your true numbers. But having your cortisol under control is such a major part of the body transformation process, especially when we're talking about weight loss. And the final thing you want to take a look at is a full panel sex hormone test. For ladies, we got to check to see where our estrogen levels are. Estrogen dominance has a lot to do with why so many of you cannot lose weight, especially in the lower half, and lower levels of progesterone and lower levels of testosterone for women does a horrible number on the body when you're trying to gain muscle. So making sure that that's in balance is so important, especially as the older you get and the closer you are to menopause. Now, for my guys out there, your testosterone levels are usually through the floor when you're overtraining, and you're not going to be able to build anything. Your energy levels are going to be low, and you're going to see a lot of other problems in your body when testosterone is low. So you got to make sure that those numbers are exactly where they need to be. The fitness industry doesn't talk enough about the importance of hormones and knowing where your numbers are when it comes to the results. It's not just about showing up at the gym. It's not just about eating a certain way. Yeah, that stuff is important as well. But if your hormones are not in check, honey, you can kiss the entire process of seeing your body change goodbye. So advocate for yourself. Get these numbers. Start doing them annually so you know exactly where you are and you can really start to see your body take off, because the inside, that oil, you're getting those oil changes when you take care of everything. Oh, honey, you know that you're keeping up to par with it all. Now, this next tip is going to happen after you've done everything I just told you to do previously. And that is to start to establish a new foundation for your training. When you're ready to start back and you're ready to get back into the groove, ready to go ahead and get back on that fat loss game, you're ready to go ahead and build that muscle, get stronger, you need to be smarter about your approach. So I want you to establish going to the gym only about 4 to 5 days a week, keeping your sessions no more than about 60 to 90 seconds. And an hour and a half is not as bad. This shouldn't be something that you're doing all the time. Typically with my own clients, I like to get them in and out of the gym within an hour, maybe an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes, but that hour and a half can be there for you as the maximum time. And that should combine both your cardio and your weight training and your stretching and all that stuff. So you want to make sure that you are just training smarter. 4 to 5 days a week is plenty of time to see your body evolve in the way that you want it to, and to do it in the smartest way possible. And remember, those rest days are super important. So taking the time to allow your body to recover, to rebuild, and to replenish itself is what's actually going to give you the results that you're trying to get. And then, this final thing goes without saying that for so many of you, yes, you've got so much information in your head. A lot of you are very knowledgeable. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really impressed with how much people know about training and nutrition these days because the information is right there at your fingertips. But there is a such thing as you having too much information and not knowing what to do. And this is where you might need to humble yourself and hire a coach. But I don't want you to just hire any coach. I want you to be smart about who you hire and who you work with. And I talked about this on my channel already, where it's really crazy. It's the wild, wild west when it comes to coaching. It's the wild, wild west when it comes to who calls himself a coach. There are people out there who will placate you just to have your dollars. They will have you spinning around in circles, and they don't even know what the heck they're doing beyond putting programs on themselves, giving out cookie cutter programs and more. And it's really hurting the industry, and it stands to hurt you as well. But I want to arm you with the information that you need to pick a better, smarter, more efficient coach for your needs. And for that, I want you to go ahead and check out this video right over here, and I'll see you over there.